Action Comics Special number 1. This is Dan Jurgens and Will Conrad on the main story. We'll talk about who's in the other backups when we get there. But this is like a finale to the Action Comics run by Dan Jurgens. And it's kind of a standalone story. It's on its own, and it's a story about. I mean, did anyone else guess exactly who this was going to be? Because all issue it's teasing also some mysterious villains figured out who Superman is, and he's threatening Lois because of it. And,
from like the very first appearance of him.
Yeah, but
it's he's in the chair and you can see the color scheme, and I'm like, okay, I know who this is.
And
it was either one person or another person. It wasn't likely to be the other.
But here's the thing: when I say guess it, though, did you guess it was Future Lex specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you can tell by the old man wrinkles.
Chair, and then you see him as an old man with the mask. In that bit, I was like, okay, I know what's going on here.
Yeah, it's old man Lex from the future, and especially when Clark assumes it's Lex, he goes to see present day Lex, and I said, "What are you talking about? I had nothing to do with anything." I'm like, "Yeah, it's because it's future Lex. It's not this one."
My favorite line is, that window. I need to know your insurance because I'm putting in a claim. Just the cold like. We used to be friends, but now I hate you.
Do you think Lex just has a standing order on Windows for that room?
Huh?
He's probably just got a room full of like extras and spares. He just stocks them.
Yeah. But he's like, I'm going to need your insurance information if you have it. Because you're an alien. Oh, man. I also like the line where he goes, the suit doesn't have your emblem on it. For whatever reason. I love that.
I like that when they realise there's someone who knows who they are, they send John to Kara's. Like, go to Kara's because she'll protect you. We'll deal with this.
Yep.
I do have to criticise. I don't know if I'm criticising Superman himself or the art here, but when he's flying with a pizza, you don't hold it.
God, I was about to bring this up.
You don't hold it that way. All the pizza's doing sliding down.
All that cheese and toppings, they're just gone.
Yeah.
They're just down in the bottom corner. Hold it flat.
Well, all we know it was an extra cheese pizza, so
Just the cheese still slides when you're holding it vertically like that.
I'm sorry, Matt, but Superman right in this page is an idiot, right? I'm calling him out.
That we see Flash carrying pizzas all the time. And Flash carries them right at super speed.
True.
It's not that hard.
Dear.
True.
Regardless,
it's not very aerodynamic, is it?
This was an okay story. It wasn't like a knock your socks off.
I was kind of disappointed in it because this was Jurgens' last hurrah.
Yeah.
And I want it to be more. And I still feel the Lex resolution's not there. I don't buy the Apocalypse. That's why he turned and went back to being business Lex and not superhero Lex.
I like Lex. Don't get me wrong. I like everything in this. I actually I like the characterization of Lex. I like his dialogue.
His voice is all right, but the reason for him being this again, they rushed it entirely too fast.
Which, to be fair, it's not on Jurgens. That's on the main Superman book.
Yeah,
did that.
Yeah. But it's the old Lex stuff. It wasn't, I don't think, particularly well done. So, that's whatever. I did like his new suit though. That was pretty cool. It was very reminiscent of his sister in Superwoman.
Are you talking about the old Lex suit or the old man Lex, the big bulky one? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And obviously, present day Lex has got his sleeker model. Not rocking purple and green, actually, has to be said. He's got
it's still the Superman version, but the logo on the front is the purple.
I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I've got to get back to the purple and green.
Well, we saw the Lex Luthor guys in Costa Rica, right? In the Bendis story, and they were in the purple and green. So, they're out there. You'd have to think.
Yeah, that's someone else I'm looking forward to Bendis writing, actually, is Lex. Yep.
But so that story was fine. I like the art. The art looked great. Will Conrad, it's serviceable. I didn't have too many issues there. His old Lex looked like Dr. Savannah, just old and decrepit. So
I'll actually be honest. In the full page where you see him properly in the suit when he's been revealed, I actually thought the tubes coming from his nostrils was a really thin mustache at first.
Okay.
Really?
That's understandable.
Well, I didn't. Well, I'll rephrase that. It's not that I thought that's what it was, but I thought it looked like that when I first turned it. If that makes sense. I never thought he actually had a long mustache because why would they give Lex this long mustache? But it just when I turned the page, it just looked like a long thin mustache to me. But It's more of a trick
I guess
of the eye
that's
than
just because
anything
you can't
else.
actually see the bit going into the
Yeah.
nose. You just see it coming from at that scale.
But I liked what Superman tells him, where he goes, you crack time travel, and the first thing your petty mind goes to is revenge. Some things never change, Lex. So I like that he pities him for all of that. Like, you have all this potential, but still you can't get above me existing. So, and then I even like the stuff with this era's Lex. Just like, who was that?
Yeah, he's like, no, that guy was framing me. I demand to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Superman doesn't tell him.
Oh,
Yeah.
he'll do that.
Yeah.
So, but no, it was fine. Like, it wasn't, I just, I
Yeah,
kind of
but
wish
It was
Jurgens
just-
had a better bang to go out on.
Yeah,
That's all.
it was a
I
solid
really
Superman story. It just wasn't a finale. It wasn't like a big ending swan song. It was just kind of a simple story. But hey,
It was a nice story, just it's oversold as a special.
yeah. And then the next story in here is by Mark Russell and Jill Thompson on the art. It's called Suprema Est Lex is the title of it.
I
So
loved this story.
So good.
I liked it quite a bit. I had one or two critiques.
Most of my critiques come from the art, and some of the story-wise, some of the stuff they did with Lex doesn't gel with my version of Lex's on the come up.
Yeah, okay,
So-
that's fair.
But that's neither here nor there. So
For me, it was when it got to the roasting stuff, and Lois is doing our speech. I don't know. For some reason, I thought that was really clunkily written and really on the nose and really.
yeah. I felt like with the roast, you either have it or you don't. And I felt like Lois, who's this great writer, she's not a great joke writer. You know?
Yeah.
So I felt like it was meant to be clunky, because I don't know if you've ever watched some of these dinners. They are not the best.
But no, it says one point says, "Oh, didn't you hear about the drone strikes in Somalia? This guy has killed more kids in the Hunger Games." Like, at that point, I'm like, yeah, that's not like you're actually bringing up when children died. That's not funny. Doesn't matter how you phrase that. It's not funny.
No,
But that's very realistic for these events.
All the stuff that happens, like the page after's her terrible jokes when she's giving Clark advice about it, and she's explaining why it's important to roast him and why you should be cracking some severe jokes.
I can't believe this came out this week of all things.
Me too, Connor.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's a complete coincidence. It's not like they knew. This was written before that happened.
Because this happens every year, so you can make these jokes and it holds up, right?
Yeah.
But you do it this year, this week of all times, and it's just so perfect.
So, and Trump hasn't showed up to any because he has such thin skin. He can't handle people making fun of him.
Yeah.
Because he can dish it, but he can't take it. And so the line where they're like, well, only a psychopath can't take jokes and then deliver them back out. And that's, the whole point of this dinner is to prove that our leaders can take criticism.
Yeah, because that's it. Lois says, "Do you know why the people with power? We expect the people with power to laugh at themselves. It's just to prove that they can, to prove that they're people, essentially."
Almost to a word, one of the podcasts I listened to had made that point. That's this week. Early in the week on the Tuesday show, they had made the same exact point that only a psychopath can't laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
And so the fact, though, that I also like, there's a little bit of. You see all the rest of the Justice League laughing, but you don't see Batman, right?
You see him in the shadows, up in the. He's in the rafters, looking down.
Yeah, but he's not actually laughing. He's just stood there.
But I feel like Batman. I don't feel Batman's a psychopath. I feel he was silently laughing.
Oh
right?
yeah, Batman doesn't laugh. Batman smirks when you make a good one.
Not me. But you see Lex get up and leave, and
then you get the moment at the end.
Yeah, obviously the stuff with Lex at the end, because it's making that point that he's got thin skin and that's what convinces him to run for president. I like that stuff. I just wish the actual jokes, because at one point like Clark's like roasting the Justice League and he's like saying, "Oh, Aqua, go talk to a fish and stuff." I couldn't help but feel that could have been funnier. Like
I think that's the point though, because they are always these really awkward, awful jokes because the people who do these aren't necessarily comedians. So they come up and they make these things and it's like.
So that's why
it's the spirit of the joke rather than the joke itself.
So when they get the hosts that are like when Colbert did it for Bush, like his jokes stood out because the rest of the people just aren't that great, So yeah, no, I really enjoyed this. Like the art was kind of spotty, but the content I felt like, and I was going to skip it because I was running short on time. I was running up against recording because I had a busy week.
Well,
And I
luckily you'd already read the next story, so you could skip that one.
I skimmed the Manipul art. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Of course you
The
did.
art's a little weird because we get the little bit of here's all the things of Superman stopping Lex. That Superman looks fantastic.
Yes.
It's the Clark Kent that looks a bit funny.
Clark Kent, some of the flashback stuff. There's stuff in there that I like when he's making fun of Lex, and they've got like footage of him eating a moon pie, eating a victory moon pie. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. And Lex has got the thin skin and all that. I was just a bit more mixed on it because I didn't necessarily think it flowed quite as well as I was going through it. And like you say, the art was a little bit spotty. So I like the ideas that are in there. I just don't know if I necessarily love the execution in this case.
I do wonder if on some level is this set up that maybe we'll get President Lex again at some point.
Interesting.
Oh my God, I hope so.
In Bendis' story in DC Nation, that one.
Yeah.
The new character referenced that Clark had written an expose on President Luthor. Now, I don't know if that was just referring to the past when he was president, as if that's still continuity, or if it was maybe hinting in that as well that we're going to get President Luthor again. But I don't know. Sure. But interesting that both the two books this week have mentioned Luthor being president in some capacity. Yeah. But hey, so no, that was not bad. Obviously, I think Matt and you both liked it a bit more than I did, but I appreciate the ideas. I like the points it was making, if nothing else. So
yeah.
And then the final story, because I swore this was a Max Landis story that had been removed from a previous book. That's what I thought it was before I got to it.
That's what they told us, I'm sure.
And then I got to it, and I was like, wait, this chair thing sounds familiar. I'm like, maybe it's not the same thing, maybe it just sounds familiar. And then I got a few pages in, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I skipped ahead a few to see if is this the one that ends with Superman flying Lois in the car seat? And I'm like,
it's a Christmas story.
I'm like, oh, this is from the Christmas special. What the hell? We read this already.
Yep.
Yeah. What was the special that it got removed from? Because there was one, wasn't there?
There was. I don't think it was Superman specifically, was it? It was like an anthology book.
Unless it was the holiday special, and I think someone just put this online and we read it separately. I don't think it wasn't in the issue.
No, it was in an issue. It wasn't a separate thing.
Then it must have been in an annual. And it got removed from the annual and put in the Christmas issue. Because this was in the Christmas issue.
Yeah, this was definitely in a book. It wasn't like something we read separately.
Okay.
Because I remember it being in like a mix of things.
I got to there and I saw that it was Christmas, and then I see her car wrecked, and I go, "Oh yeah, I've seen this. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the art."
So I mean, you got an excuse to look at some Manipul art.
Exactly.
I mean,
not never mad at that.
It's weird because I was like, it's a $5 book, but like I mean, I got 2 stories already, so I can't really be that mad. But it's like, well, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, this last one's only like 10 pages, maybe.
Yeah. So
it is like the Comixology has it listed as like 57 pages. So it's 50 pages is where the story ends. So you got 40 pages for $5.
Yeah, it's just not bad. Yeah. But
I really enjoyed that second story, and the first one was pretty solid. So I'm okay.
Yeah, I think it was a bad issue overall. I think the first one was a pretty decent, solid story. I think the second one had a lot of good ideas. I wouldn't say I'm over the moon about the issue, but it was. I don't regret buying it or reading it. So